Hi traders, this is Off the Floor Trader. Just a quick video this evening. Wanted to cover the gold trade that we've been following here since last week, and then just a couple things coming into the week here. First, the gold trade. For those of you who've maybe seeing this for the first time, on a weekly basis, we saw one of our favorite patterns, of course, was the gold trade. We saw this setting up down here. Of course, we've been following gold. We trade gold quite a bit, and once we broke a triple bottom here, 1 2 3, we thought this was off to the races down to 1100. Of course, now we didn't get that, and of course we were stopped out and never got really entered back in a position wise to get down to the 1100. We wish we would have, but price action didn't present itself, which is a lesson in itself. Listen, if price action isn't there, don't try to make it up, because it won't happen. So you got to be patient, you got to wait. So we did, and this wonderful trade presented itself. You can go back through our posts on here and take a look how we saw this setting up and how we got into the trade. And now we're into the trade. We are a week into this thing. We've heard a first target, and of course we're way up here above that. And we've moved our stops actually. And now our new stops are above this actually right now. I need to move this. Stops are much higher because of where we ended at. Now we're consolidating up in this range here. We're looking still for our second target. It's open to us, and what we will look for, I've received a few comments and emails on this. What we look for is we'll look for more consolidation or pausing or maybe in a small pullback, and if one of those three things ends up breaking with any type of volume, we'll go ahead and cut the trade loose, and then wait for another setup in the same direction. We think that this is going to run for a couple weeks. Now, long term, we do think that there could be another test of these lows at some point this year. Hard to tell when. We're not playing for that right now. Right now, the momentum's to the upside. The swing is to the upside, and that's exactly what we want to do. We are swing traders first and foremost. We do maybe scalp on some what we call no-brainer trades, but for the most part, we are swing traders. That's where you're going to capture most of your income from. We'd rather take less trades and earn more than take a buttload of trades and then try to hammer out a living from that. So anyway, now the elephant in the room on this deal is the ECB and Mario Draghi. Obviously, he's speaking this week. Is he going to quantitative ease or isn't he? That is the question, of course, and all eyes are on Europe and him and what's going to happen over there. If you are in this trade long and want to protect, either put a protective stop in or go to the options market and hedge yourself. We will actually use a stop in this, and depending on price action on Monday, we'll watch it very closely to see what we want to do with this. We know it's going to get volatile this week, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. So just be aware, if you're putting on new positions early in the week, just understand what's going to be happening out there. We expect volatility when he opens his mouth. So, all right, let's go talk to. Real quick, if he does start talking favorably towards the gold side, in other words, his comments favor gold, we expect this to take out the 1300 level. Now, when we say we expect this, that doesn't mean it's going to do that, okay? That just means that we expect that, and if it gets to that 1300 level, we will watch it very closely. If it does blow through the 1300 level, we will definitely start to take profits up here for sure. Let's go talk about gold real quick, or excuse me, crude oil. Crude oil, apparently they think that crude oil has bottomed. Yeah, it's a short-term bottom. We had a nice, let me blow this up a little bit for you all. We had a nice little move to the upside, but then again, you can see here, we topping up here around this 51 level. We dropped all the way down to was at 46. So 51 to 46 is a $5 move in oil. That's pretty volatile. So a lot of people who got prematurely long probably got stopped back out unless their stops are below this low here, which that's taking on a lot of risk for a lot of people. And as we know, once oil gets going in one direction, this thing can keep on rolling down the hill for a long time. So you don't want to step in front of this. Now, let's go take a look at a longer time frame. Let's go to a monthly chart. And why a monthly chart? Well, first of all, you should always be looking at longer time frames. Monthlies, you don't have to look on a daily basis. It's good to look at them once a week to see where everything is at and where it could be going. And of course, weekly charts need to be looked at on a regular basis. Now, you can see here in this monthly chart of WTI crude oil, we just slammed into this monthly trend line here. Okay, couple things to notice about this are two things. Look at the size of this move here, the magnitude of it. Somewhere up here in that 146 range, all the way down to that 32 range. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months before we bottom. And this next move, we've gone from 96 down to, was it 44 and some change in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Okay, so look at the symmetrical pattern here, and you can see if it is going to be symmetrical, we're nowhere close to being to the bottom. However, this trend line is going to come into play. The other aspect is this. Listen, markets and products, whether it be oil, gold, NASDAQ, whatever you trade, does not go down, catch a bottom, and go straight up. I know we've been seeing it a little bit in the ES and some of the indexes, but it's not that simple. That's in a process of a bigger pattern, especially on a longer time frame. We'll go look at that in a minute. But you can see here, as oil slammed down into this range back in 09, you'll find that we took 3 months of bottoming before we found a definitive bottom. We've just slammed into this bottom last week. So people who are anxious about catching a bottom, be patient. There'll be more opportunity and you'll have plenty of bounces. Do not, and I'm going to repeat this, do not try to make everything in one big trade. You know, you'll find your outlier trades. Any of you who are short this market from up here in this 90 area, congratulations, that was probably the trade of your life. Okay, and we can go through market after market and look at the opportunities that have provided us of good trades. Most recently was the trade in the euro for us, and we'll look at that as well. But bottom line is, don't try to recreate this to the upside, because you're not going to get this type of move back to the upside. It's going to take a while for this to bottom, and then when it finally gets some momentum, it'll get momentum. But right now we're not long or short the crude oil, so we're going to sit and wait for some more opportunity that looks a little bit cleaner to us right now. Talking about the euro, let's go back to the euro. Again, this was a move, guys. If you caught into this move, congratulations. We caught a couple of these portions. We caught a little portion right here back in September of 14, and of course we had this beautiful flag right here that we caught with the entry. We have this all documented on the website here, and so you can go back and look at our posts. We have all of our entries and exits on this thing. Now, in hindsight, yeah, it would have been great to hold this, but you just never know where market's gone. You have to take some profit along the way, and you have to say when you're out and when you're in. And I keep on telling people that, listen, we made a conscious decision to take our trade off the table, which was a good thing. It rolled back up. We would have been stopped out anyway, even if we wanted to hold on to this, because as we get closer to target 2, we want to start taking profits and getting aggressive with it. We will always re-enter. We took it off the table. We thought we were done. We thought she would roll back up a little higher than this. Obviously, what we think doesn't matter to the markets, and so this thing rolls over, and probably with some help with Mario Draghi in here as well. So right now, nothing going on in the euro. I would not get even close to this product until Mario Draghi talks, and until after they shake out his speech and what that means to the European Union and what that means to the economy over there. All right, the market we do have to watch, guys, long term will have some effect on the equities market, and that is the Japanese yen. Japanese yen's been bouncing around in here, and right now it's hard to tell if this is actually just going to consolidate and keep going lower, or we have a line in the sand here at 86. If things pops up through this 86 with any type of momentum or volume, Go back and look. There's nothing to stop this thing from going up into that 91 level, or maybe even the 200-day moving average here. If that's the case, that's going to put heavy pressure on the equities here, and that could mean more downside to the equities. But are we going to play for this? No, because we don't know. We will wait for this to break, and we will watch this and see if there's any volume into it, and then we'll look for pullbacks. Right now, there's been too many head fakes, too many. It's too risky. There's too many things going on overseas to say, hey, listen, we can get into this now. We just don't see it. So we're going to keep it on the watch list for now, though. All right, with that, let's go look at the Nasdaq real quick. It's one of our favorite indice trades. Um, Right now, just a bunch of garbly-goo, if you will. It seems like the world's waiting for something to happen to get a definitive direction again. We're getting pretty volatile in here. People saying we are topping in here. Maybe. It could be, but let's take a look again. Let's go to our longer time frames. Is it topping? No, not really, because we've just came down and touched the 8 EMA on the monthly basis. So is that topping? I wouldn't even call that close to topping. Matter of fact, I'd have to say that we're probably not close to topping yet. We've had pullbacks down, back down here in 2011, 2010, 2012. And of course, it's been to the upside. The only time we ever seen anything really to the downside, it was back in 2008. We all know what happened then. So going to a weekly chart, same thing. We're down on the 21 on a weekly basis. Pullbacks. They're buying all these lows right here. A lot of buying in here. Are we done to the downside? Now we'll have to wait. We have to wait on a lot of things. We have to wait what Mario says. We have to wait and see if the Japanese yen breaks on that thing. We'll have to watch a lot of things. So what's going on in the Nasdaq? Well, nothing is the answer there. We have no position. We don't see any position. If we get above the 42.75 and we stay up there, then we will consider getting long into this marketplace. Right now, it's just a channel that's going on, and they're just bouncing this thing around a channel. And I suppose you could trade the channel a little bit. We could, and we may trade the bottom of the channel if we see price move out of the channel and then move back in and hold. We'll look for a trade to the upside on the deal. But right now, this is sort of in the middle of it, and it's no man's land. So we're staying away from it. Anyway. All right, that's all we got, guys. Hey, listen, I hope everybody has a great trading week. Again, keep an eye on your gold trade if you're long. If you are out of it, congratulations. I hope you got a little bit off the table and made some money. That would have been awesome. We're still in this thing. We're going to watch it very closely going into, I believe, the announcements on Tuesday. Otherwise, guys, have a safe week out there in the marketplace. Use your head. If you don't have to trade, it may be good to take a couple days off until the market settles down volatility wise. Otherwise, look for some more posts coming up here during the week, and we'll keep you updated. Hope things are well, guys. Trade well.